Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because mental muscle is necessary for implementing successful business strategies. It's time to learn how to beat your business no matter what life throws at you. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we discuss the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. All right now, how y'all doing out there in these entrepreneurial streets? Today is an emotional day. You already know we cover everything: mindset, business, professional, spiritual, the whole nine, because it affects our state of being and it affects the way that we show up as entrepreneurs. And today I want to talk to you guys about protecting those relationships and really giving a damn about how you show up, because you don't know how it's affecting other people. And I say this very strongly because I've gotten my feelings hurt, unfortunately, by many an entrepreneur. And I've done everything in my power to make sure that I'm not taking things too personal, but I'm human. And one thing I got to tell you is that I don't hide my humanness. For those of you that may be new to the podcast, I don't come on here as this woman who has it all together all the time, because there's no such thing. And I personally believe that as my success continues to grow, that allowing you all to see the different transitions in my mood, my personality, my growth, my development, my business, all of that gives you permission to show up the way you are. So anyway, I'm launching the Move Hey Summit, and applications are going out. And there are some people that are filling out some applications and they got a side eye that's coming from me for various reasons. And a lot of it has to do with the way they've treated me in these internet streets. Well, one thing about August Crenshaw is that I don't have a problem having crucial conversations. Okay? I need you all to know that. So there's this one woman in particular. She was in one of my summits before, and I absolutely adored her. And our relationship, it seemed like it just skyrocketed out of nowhere. And she could have been a sister to me. And we would have these really highly intense spiritual conversations where we were, edifying one another. And I just felt that she was grateful to be connected to me, and I was grateful to be connected to her. There wasn't a client relationship, but I was feeding her on a consistent basis because I was just being obedient to what I believe Spirit was showing me about her and what Spirit thought that she should know about herself. And the last time that she and I had spoken, and almost 9 months had passed between conversations, I was going in on her. Now, let me explain what that means so you guys don't take that out of context. Now, y'all know I can rant, and I be going in on people and drop 17 F-bombs and call people out on their shit. And you be like, why is this black woman so angry? And I'll be like, because I can be. I ain't talking about that kind of ripping her. I mean the kind that I'm like, I see you in your future. You meant to do this, and God is going to grace you with this. And it was ripping her apart because evidently God wanted her to hear in a very potent voice, this has been declared over your life. These are the expectations that I have for you. And I listened to her as she wept, and I felt it. But my intensity couldn't die because I was in the zone of affirming. Now, after that conversation, then all of a sudden, the connection between her and I, it seemed to diminish. And you ladies, I want you to pay attention to this shit, because I'm going to talk about the shit that don't nobody else want to talk about. People can act like I'm crazy and I'm making stuff up, but I'm not. We be hurting each other's feelings. We be offending people. And then we don't want to be accountable for the shit we did and even think about how we are affecting individuals that believe in us. So here it is. I would go on social media, and now we're connected to quite a few of the same people, because what ends up happening when individuals participate in my events, they begin to become friends and develop relationships with other people. Now, mind you, she don't owe me shit. Some people speak in my event and they go on about their business, but notice I said a high level of intimacy had been created. And you know how it is. It's like every time I go live, that person is there. Every time I put a post, they amening and high-fiving me. And then all of a sudden it's crickets. They never say anything anymore. We have mutual friends. If I say something on a mutual friend's post, they quick to heart it, like it, or even say something back to me. Or if we have a similar mentor and I'm celebrating and cheering for the mentor, and they next level up, they commented back with me, and we're just always intermingling in conversation. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's just completely gone. I know you feel me. I know you all know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, guess what? I watched this individual, though, not disappear from everybody else, just disappear out of my life. Nothing to say. Even if I hearted their post or made a comment, they ain't say shit back. It's that this person isn't the first individual to do this to me, but this is one time where I'm like, okay, wait a minute. The last conversation was really, really tense. Did I fuck it up? And I thought about it and I rewound it, and I thought about it and I rewound it. And I was satisfied in my spirit that I had not done anything. And I'm like, God, if I did, I know you'll bring it to me. And I don't know if it's going to take a day, a week, a month, or a year. But when you do, I'm going to own up to it. And so time passes by, and then out of nowhere, this person just pops back up. And they send me a message on Messenger like nothing ever happened. Making a comment about one thing. Oh, always I appreciate your vulnerability and stuff like that. And here it is. I'm coming around to this next event, and they apply to be a speaker. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now, I know that they have some powerful stuff to bring to the table. I was so honored to have them be a speaker before. But personally, I'm a little fucked up in the head, right? And I can't do business with people that I got to look at with a side eye. So August will have crucial conversations. And so when I saw the individual, what they said to me blew my mind. I was like, hey, what's up? Disappear and act. And they were like, oh, man. I was like, yeah, why don't you talk to me about, why you disappeared? That's the way I started the conversation. And the short version of it is this. They said, I was dealing with imposter syndrome. I felt very inadequate, out of place, and so on and so forth. But they were still speaking about themselves, and I hadn't been included in the conversation. And I looked at the individual with tears in my eyes. I said, can I tell you something from my vantage point? And she was like, absolutely. I said, I was trying to figure out why you ghosted me. Why you abandoned me, because you shut off all contact with me, and imposter or no imposter, you still communicated with everybody else. It was weird. And you're going to have to help me understand why. And her words, this is coming from somebody that I look at as an authority in the industry too. And her words were, after your last event, I felt inadequate. I felt like I didn't measure up. I had never been a part of anything of that caliber, and I felt like it exposed me. That's the short version of the conversation. And so we sat there, and I'm like, if you didn't belong, you wouldn't have been a part of it. I was like, you seen me kick somebody out of my summit before. Because they put on the front, and before we started promoting, she was like, yeah, you're right, you did. And so bottom line is we had a pretty detailed conversation. I said, well, we got to get this stuff out because I can't work with someone that I don't trust or that I don't feel like there's clear communication and so on and so forth. And once we got through all of that, it was like, okay, so how do we move ahead? And we talked about, her segment, what it'll look like, and what she'll contribute, and so on and so forth. Yeah, but I'm sharing this with you all because, it's not always going to be a rose-colored ending. I could think of someone else who did me like that, and they may actually think that I did them wrong, and I really could give a fuck less because I know what I did for them, and it's like ain't nobody gonna keep on babysitting your fucking feelings. Go through the fucking fire, get your shit together, and maybe you'll come back and you'll apologize to me, and if you don't, then that's too bad because I don't owe you anything else. But sometimes when we have relationships that kind of go kerplunk, their value and their meaning is something that we can't shake. And that was the thing with me with this woman. I couldn't shake it, but I was like, I'm not going to go after it. Because one thing I do know is when there is weirdness in certain situations, you have to allow people the space to deal with their shit. And then when they come back around, you don't know what that is going to look like. But then you get to engage in conversation with them. And sometimes they will tell you, well, you did this and it made me feel this way. And you might be sitting there like, how the hell did they get that out of it? It could be so many other different scenarios. But in this scenario in particular, I just didn't see that coming. And this is why it's important for us to communicate. Because the vantage point is everything. So on one hand, it was very awing for her to have esteemed me at such a level. And I do know that I'm a beast. And I do believe in who I am. And I know that I'm that chick. And I'm just waiting for the day that I'm a household name just like everybody else. But I still have my doubts. I still wrestle sometimes with making sure I walk in the fullness of my authority. I'm a jumper, so I go ahead and do it. But nevertheless, I look at a lot of people that I connect with in the industry as peers, and some of them are looking at me as being ahead of them in certain ways. So I don't know what relationship you need to rectify or restore. And I don't know if that individual did you wrong or not. All I know is that if you can't shake it off your spirit, now we remember shit sometimes, like especially if for some reason you forgot to unfollow somebody. Like the other day I was on IG and I seen a former client, that listened to me that I don't fuck with no more because what she did was foul to me. People to do that shit to you. And I know some of you in the industry, you know what the hell I'm talking about. You've worked with people, you've helped their ass, got them out of a fucking rut, and now they've gotten a level of success or they're doing something or whatever the hell is going on. You people wouldn't even know that you knew each other. You know what I'm talking about. And so sometimes, and this individual, when I saw her in my feed, I was like, I thought I unfollowed her ass. Let me unfollow her ass. And so, of course, for a second, she was in my head thinking about, her ass. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't talking about that. This woman, when I would see her, something hit my spirit or my soul. And there are people like that in your life. And it doesn't mean that there's going to be a happily ever after. But the peace is in the conversation. The peace is in getting the emotions out. The peace is in having the opportunity for your thoughts and your feelings to be honored. So who do you need to reach out to? Or who do you need to be patient and wait on until they come and speak to you? And I'm just going to say this, for that woman, I'm glad that somewhere along the line she found the strength and she came back out of her shell, because there's some great things that we can do together. So we got to stop this shit. You got to stop not believing in yourself. You got to stop running the fuck away. And it's so crazy because I even had to tell her, we know a similar person online. And some of you may have heard like Dennis Kimbrough say that if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room. Well, our mentor says that you need to be around somebody who makes you nervous. And I told her, I said, with that respect, that's why you should have stayed around me. Because there was something in me that made you nervous, and you were supposed to lean into that, because wherever you felt inadequate, even though it wasn't inadequacy, it was spirit telling you you have permission to evolve. And the evolution really was about you walking in your authority, not even increasing your knowledge. I'm like, you're a genius. You know what the hell you're doing. And so a lot of you have relationships with people and it makes you feel weird. It makes you feel like shit. It makes you realize where you don't have your shit together. And those are the people that you should stop avoiding. And they're the individuals that you should be around because they will help you grow. And the thing about it is if they're really as close to you as you believe that they are, they see who you are and they also see where you can grow and they're excited about your growth. But the day you cut that shit off, and when you play and when someone's been rooting for you, you also have to realize that when you do come back around, some of them may not be like me and may not have open arms either. Because individuals like myself, I'm going to be honest, we can't just keep giving. I know me, I give and I have love and I have compassion and I will move the moon for you. But let me think that you're going to fuck me over. And I will move away from you farther than the moon is from you. And so we don't know what the future holds. And some of you are connected to some key players, people that are going places. Yes, you've got brilliant ideas. Yes, you're going to do great things, but you may be with a person who is the gateway to your next level in the industry, and you borderline finna fuck up the relationship. Yeah, I'm going to leave this one right here because I want you all to just sit in it. Sit in it and see what else naturally comes and let spirit have that. So before I get out of here, listen to me, Black entrepreneurs. We have got to stop playing. We have so much work to do. We got to get out here in these internet streets and we've got to learn how to use this online arena on a whole nother other level. I have been doing summits centered around business for years, and I want you all to join forces with me. So whether it's client identification, if you know how to give people the hookup to get media features, podcasting, summit hosts, so course correction, course creation, lead generation, marketing, publishing, branding, copywriting, taxes, health and wellness, marriage guidance, parental guidance, whatever it is that can help a Black man or woman better navigate business and their life. And yes, we have to do things centered around life because if our life is jacked up, it affects how we show up in business. If you specialize in these and you want to get exposure as well as educate our people and help them move, that's the theme now, master a virtual economy. You want to have Black people move, then go to augustcrenshaw.com/speaker app. That's speaker app. And sign up to go through the process and see if you are a good fit for the summit because it's going down this spring. It's going down this spring and you want to be a part of another layer of history where we're helping take our people to the next level. So I love you guys. I'm going to get out of here. Deuces.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you.